Hello everyone, it's averydawnside and welcome back to another video. So I'm really excited for today's video. I'm not going to have a super long intro just because this is going to be a very long video to begin with. But after doing YouTube for basically an entire year, I've gained quite a bit of knowledge in being a YouTuber, all the behind the scenes things that you guys might be wondering. So I figured why not do a YouTube Q&A. I was super duper surprised that so many of you had so many questions. I'm talking about over 200 responses, and I've narrowed it down to about 150, so it's going to be speed rounds. There might be a part 2, possibly. We will see how many questions I include, but let's just go ahead and get into it so that you guys are not here for the rest of your lives. So we're going to attempt to train as well while we do this, which you guys know my training can be a little bit questionable while I'm trying to read things, but you know, we are here for it and we're gonna try. Okay, so the first question is, when you first started, did you spend money right away on editing apps, recording software, microphones, etc.? By the way, I love you so much. Your vids are amazing, and so are you. I love you too. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is a really great question. So before I had the current headset that I do have, I was just using the regular good old Apple, like, wired headphones, not wireless or anything. So I used those for probably up until December, I want to say. And then I did buy the headset. I'll insert a picture on the screen. I think they were about $50, and they are the ᴑᴏ K8 gaming headset, and they work really well for me, and I was actually recommended them by Ava Clearwood, so I definitely recommend them. As for recording software and everything, I use everything for free. So QuickTime Player is what I record with, and it came with me on my MacBook, and I just use iMovie to edit. So everything that I use is free, as well as the stuff that I use to make my thumbnails. I use the Canva non-paid for version, and yeah, so it's super affordable, and I did not pay for anything in the beginning. The second question, I actually get this one quite a lot, and it is, how did you get lots of subscribers? This is from Katie_Madden5. So this is a really great question, and I think this is something that literally everyone asks YouTubers because it is kind of a big wonder, and honestly that's the most that I can say about it, because subscriber growth is varying different for person to person. It's not like a consistent thing. Like, I can't tell you after 1 month you'll have 50 subscribers or stuff like that, because it really does differ person to person. It has a lot to do with the algorithm, but my best advice is to just be consistent and not focus on the number. I know that's really easy to say and not as easy to do, but really don't focus on the number, and if you don't, then you'll notice you grow a lot faster. Rather than patronizing yourself for trying to grow super quickly, you should be in your channel for passion and not in it for the numbers. So that's kind of my best advice for that question. This one's quite a long question, but it basically is asking about the YouTube Partner Program, which is how you get paid through YouTube, and if it would be worth it to make a YouTube channel to be able to help their family out. So this is another really great question. I mean, all of these are fantastic questions. It's just, I think these are questions that aren't really answered openly in the YouTube community, and that is money. So as for the YouTube Partner Program, for those of you who aren't aware what that is, basically once you hit certain milestones on YouTube, I believe they are currently 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public watch hours, you then are eligible to apply for the YouTube Partner Program, which is where if you get accepted, you can become monetized and put ads on your videos, which you will then get paid from having those ads on your videos. So I am in the YouTube Partner Program, thankfully. I hit it around, I would say I hit the milestones around December, I think, or January, and then I didn't start actually making money off of YouTube until February. And as for the amount, again, this is a very different question for every YouTuber to answer, because there's not really something that you can go off of. YouTube doesn't tell you any substantial month or any, like, it's not like an hourly salary at all. It's just kind of, you get paid for what you create. So I don't have anything to compare it to, but I would say it's definitely a slow growth in the beginning. It does take a lot of work to be able to make a substantial amount of money on YouTube, but it is possible. And so I guess to answer your question, it is doable to make a substantial amount of money to help support your family and stuff like that, but it does take a long time and a lot of work. I think that's one of the misconceptions of YouTube, is that you can just make money super quickly, but that's not actually the truth. And the videos that you guys see that are maybe 10 minutes long, some of them take 10 hours of work, some of them take 24 hours of work. So it's really not about the money for me, because if you looked at what I got paid hourly, based off what I currently make, I don't know what it would average out to be, but it would be way under just getting a regular job, working minimum wage and stuff. It's really not a ton of money for all the work that goes into your videos. That's why I say it has to be a passion project. So I would suggest probably getting a job while you have a YouTube channel if you're really looking for substantial income to help support your family currently. That's just my best advice regarding the partner program, but I will be answering more questions about it, because I know a lot of these questions have to do with how much I make and stuff like that. So moving on, the next question is, hi, I'm Beatrice and I wanted to know if it was a struggle getting your channel off of the ground. I want to start my own SSO channel and need your wisdom. By the way, I love your videos. Thank you, honey. Well, my best advice is you should totally start a YouTube channel overall, because it was one of the best decisions that I made. I had no idea how far it was going to take me, and here I am today, which is kind of crazy to think about. But as for the question, I would say it was, I think the hardest part about YouTube is the beginning, because it takes a lot to get your name out there. But the thing is, once your name is out there, once you start getting recognized by other people, it's kind of a chain reaction. So don't get discouraged, just keep pushing, really advertise yourself whenever you can in the most like non-annoying, obnoxious way. And once you take off, you'll take off and you probably won't go back down. So just really push through those beginning moments. It is a bit of the struggle, but again, that's why I say YouTube has to be a passion project, because it's a lot of self-motivation, self-work, and no one hands to you anything, so you have to earn it all for yourself. So definitely start it, but know that it's a big journey, but it's so much fun along the way too. Okay, the next one says, did you ever want to give up at the start? From Sasha Turtletree. I actually did not. I've never had one of those moments where I've been like, I want to quit YouTube. I've definitely had weeks where it's been hard with my life schedule and everything, but especially from the start, I definitely have not had one of those moments, because in the beginning it's also exciting. You're learning so many new things, and yeah, it's confusing. It's a lot of stress in the beginning trying to learn technology, editing, uploading even, but I didn't actually want to quit from the start, and I haven't really seriously considered quitting. I've had those joking moments where I've been like, oh, I'm just gonna quit YouTube, you know, after I like film a video but it wasn't actually filmed, but I've never had a moment where I'm like, oh, I'm actually gonna quit. Okay, the next one says, do you sometimes think of a good idea for an RRP video, but then you overthink it and then you hate it the next minute? I would say yes and no to this question, because I go through, everyone has their own video creation process, but I brainstorm most of my videos when I'm in the shower, but people don't understand when I say that. I brainstorm like hundreds of videos, like lots and lots of videos in my head, and then I end up picking maybe 10 out of 100 that I'll think of and put them on my list of videos to create. So I have a very long list on my phone of videos that I want to make in the future, but that doesn't mean that all of the ones that I come up with make the cut, because I have thought about some very, very interesting videos that have not made the cut. Maybe one day I'll expose my video thoughts, but as for right now, I guess that's my best answer to that question is yes and no. Ooh, this next one's interesting. It says, do you get annoyed when a fan comes up to you when you are filming? No, I don't at all. I think it's really sweet, and I think it gets confusing because it's not ever annoying. Sometimes it's inconvenient, but I would rather stop the recording and say hi to someone who has taken me off and given me the platform that I have today, rather than continue making the content and ignore the person who supports the content, if that makes sense. So it never gets annoying. Sometimes it does get inconvenient, but I will always stop the recording to say hello to everyone, because I would be nothing without you guys. So I will always prioritize my family over the actual content. To answer that question. The next one says, Does it ever get stressful being a YouTuber? Also, I love you so much, from ᴅᴏ_ɪᴛ. I love you too. It does get stressful to be a YouTuber. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Being a YouTuber is a ton of work. I think a lot of people that I am friends with can attest. When they ask me what I'm doing, most of the time I say YouTube things. If my family's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, YouTube things. It is a lot of work behind the scenes, but it's very, very rewarding overall, especially like for those milestone moments. It's extremely rewarding. I'm running over my words, but it does get stressful sometimes, but it's just about pushing through those moments. It's not stressful all the time, but it does at times get to be a lot. This one says, is it hard editing a video, and is it fun being an SSO YouTuber? You are the best YouTuber. Thank you. Sometimes it can be tricky editing a video, but not because it's actually hard, but because I am very peculiar on how I like to edit my videos, specifically my realistic roleplay videos. I'm super picky on how I edit those, so it's not necessarily hard, but it is very tedious if you want it to look a certain way and you have this certain idea in your head and it's just not turning out the way that you expected. You do have to get used to like adapting to things not turning out the way that you thought of it in your head, but if you are completely working towards that, then I would say it can get a little hard, but I would say tedious is a better word, not hard. The next one is, again, how did you get so many subscribers? When did you start YouTube? I started YouTube on May 28th, 2020, and subscribers, I missed that. I kind of already answered this question, but it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. I'm going to be dropping some suggestions in a tips and tricks video, which will actually be coming out tomorrow, I think, if you guys are seeing this. So if you're seeing this down the road, then that video is already out. But I'm going to be telling you my tips and tricks about how I grew on YouTube and stuff like that. But again, it varies person to person. There's not one magic trick of how to gain subscribers or anything. It's just putting yourself out there and creating consistent content overall is my best advice. The next one also has to do with the YouTube Partner Program. It says, if you get money from SSO's YouTube ad revenue, can you write buying star coins for a horse buying video as a tax deductible? I don't know enough about taxes to answer this question, but I would say no, because so how the YouTube Partner Program works, it works like a job. You do get taxed on your income, so I don't get to keep all of the money that I make. I do get taxed on it, especially since I'm an adult. I don't know how it works for minors, but that's something that they can figure out. But you do get taxed on it. I'm not exactly sure if you can write it off as a tax deductible. I guess I could possibly look into that, but I'm not 100% sure. I hope that like kind of answers your question. This one says, have you ever had anyone mistake you for another YouTuber or be weird/nasty? Love you. I love you too. And I haven't. I don't think I've ever been mistaken for another YouTuber, and I haven't had anything like actually weird or nasty happen. I've had people make like funny jokes and stuff, but nothing too crazy. How long would it take for you to create an RRP video? How do you come up with your RRPs? Is it hard being a YouTuber? So this again varies video to video, but I would say on average the RRP videos take, if it's like a 10-minute video, I would say filming takes anywhere from 1 to 4 hours. Editing takes anywhere from 5 to 36 hours. It really depends on how much editing I'm putting in, what exactly I'm editing, the video content and stuff like that. But RP videos take a long time to make, which is why they're not the sole content of my channel anymore, because that just would be impossible to make one weekly without absolutely frying my brain. So yeah, and how I come up with them, I already kind of answered that. And is it hard being a YouTuber? It's not hard, but it is a lot of work for sure. This one says, ooh, this is interesting. Besides your friends on SSO, do people IRL know that you have this channel? Kind of. My family knows about it. A few of my close friends IRL know about it, but it's not something that I go around advertising like, oh my goodness, I have a YouTube channel, like go look at it. Like I will bring it up casually in sentences and stuff, but I don't specifically say the name of my YouTube channel, what the content is. But if people ask like what I'm doing, a lot of the time I'll be like, yeah, I actually have like a gaming channel. But I don't give them all the details just because I like to keep these two things in my life pretty separate when I can. So yes and no. From Aurora Stonehoof, it says, how does the money work? Like how does YouTube send it and stuff? So this is another great question. I feel like I could literally make an entire video on just YouTube revenue and stuff. But so the money basically works with the videos, the ads that I put on my videos. You can choose how many you put on. Sometimes I usually don't tweak it, I just let it run automatic. But the ads that you put on your videos gain a certain revenue based on the ads, based on how many, based on the placement in your video. I don't know the science behind it, but you gain money from that. And then once you reach a certain payment threshold once, like per month, you get paid. If you don't reach that payment threshold, then it carries over to the next month when you do reach the payment threshold, and then you get paid. The way that you get paid is through online banking. So you connect your bank account to your YouTube channel, and then Google will directly, it's called Google AdSense, they will directly deposit the cash into your bank account, and that is how you get paid. But you do get taxed, so at the end of the year you do have to fill out a tax form, and you will be taxed on what you make from YouTube. The next one says, do you ever feel pressured to upload when you're sick? Yes and no, not from you guys. I don't ever feel pressured by you guys to make videos, but I do feel pressure from myself. And when I get sick for multiple weeks at a time. I, thank goodness, haven't been sick in like the past 6 months. But if you guys remember my Halloween video, I was super duper sick. So at the time I had my friend in the past make a video for me, and I uploaded that. Yeah, so sometimes I feel pressured, but not by you guys. This one says, do you know how you gained a big following so quickly? You grew so fast. It's amazing. I love you and your videos. I love you too. Thank you. I never know how to answer this question, because I'm very, very grateful that I did have a substantial amount of growth, even just in the first year of having a channel, and I'm so grateful for that. I don't really know how I did it per se. Again, I think it was just being consistent. I did have a few videos that like really put me on the map, I would say. The Saving Jupiter series, the Trying Horses videos and stuff like that, the Zodiac video, stuff like that. So I don't have an exact answer on how it happened. I would just say be consistent, be very active in your community, and people will love you back, and they'll tell your friends about you, and then boom, you will be a booming YouTuber. And again, regardless of size, even if you're a YouTuber, you are still a content creator, and that is 100% valid regardless of how many subscribers you have. So just keep pushing and know that it will pay off eventually. This one isn't a question. It just says, when you play SSO, you don't get any privacy. This is true, but also not true. It depends on what servers I'm on. I do stick to quieter servers. Like right now, no one's come up to me for about half an hour, but if I am on busier servers, people do say hi to me. But it's not like you guys constantly follow me around. You'll just say hi, we'll take a picture maybe, talk about a few things, and then I'll be on my way, which I really don't mind at all. You guys are the people who gave me this platform, and I'm extremely grateful for that. So I will always say hi to you if I am there. If I'm AFK, then I cannot say hi to you, but I will when I get back. Oh, I love this one. It says, from Alyssa Springshield, what do you love about being an SSO YouTuber and why? My favorite thing about being a SSO YouTuber specifically is Star Stable YouTube has allowed me to integrate things that I'm passionate about in my IRL life into the actual game. So you guys know that I'm extremely passionate about mental health, and I'm studying in school to become a therapist, and making those videos, the Watch This When or the Dear Blank Month series, absolutely means the world to me, and it's just a really creative outlet for me. It gives me something to do, as well as the money side of YouTube is a perk. But I want you guys to know that I do make money off of YouTube, but all of that money fully funds me being able to ride, to pay for lessons, to hopefully buy my first horse in a year. So I do have a very saving mindset when it comes to the money that comes into YouTube. It either goes back into buying star coins and stuff to like equipment to make the videos better, or it goes into riding IRL. So my favorite thing is that something that was a passion hobby quickly became something that could support my outside life passion hobbies, and I will forever be grateful for that, and I'll forever be grateful for all of you. I feel like I talk about being grateful a lot, and I hope it's not annoying, but seriously, you guys have opened so many doors for me. You guys have also, I'll talk about this, but Star Stable YouTube has made me, has introduced me to so many incredible people. I wouldn't be in the club that I was in if I didn't have a YouTube channel, because I would have never made that video with Terrific Tigers. I would have never met Ava Clearwood if I didn't have a YouTube channel. I would have never met so many of you beautiful people, seen all the beautiful art that you guys have created for me. So it's just so much love and so much support. There are the dark days of YouTube, but most of it is just so loving and caring, and that is some of my favorite things about being a YouTuber. I could make an entire video about this, but for the sake of this video, we're going to continue moving forward. Do you brag to people about the 5,000 subscribers that you have? I don't. I actually really don't like talking about subscriber count because, again, I've always been that person that preached your subscriber count doesn't matter, because I know some YouTubers that are right now considered very small, but they make amazing videos. And I know that one day they'll get there eventually to becoming what people view as a big YouTuber, but I don't think that your subscriber count necessarily reflects the quality of your videos. I think it's just a number, and it is nice to have a bigger number because you do get more recognition, but I think it's important to remember that everyone starts somewhere. So I don't brag about the 5,000 subscribers. I'm very grateful for it, and I will show my love and appreciation to all 5,000 of you, but it's not a make or break or anything. This question is from Avery Thunderwolf, and they said, what do you think of the Star Stable YouTuber community? I think being a part of the community is something really amazing, something really special overall. I do think there are some toxic sides to the community, but not everywhere. I think overall a lot of people are here for the right reasons and stay for the right reasons, but that's just my opinion. I think it's such a supportive and wonderful community to be a part of, except there are some competitive aspects to it, but that again varies person to person. Overall, everyone's super supportive though, and we're all just here to vibe and, you know, have our own channels and support each other when we can. So it's pretty cool to be in. The next one says, do you ever compare your videos to other SSO RRP channels? I don't, because I think at the beginning this was really hard for me, and I think it's a lot of the issues that people face today is comparing themselves to other YouTubers, but it's something that I really strive for in my IRL as well as in my YouTube life, not to compare myself to other people, because I've been guilty of doing that in the past, and it really doesn't get you anywhere. It either gets you into copying content from other creators, or it just puts yourself down, and there's really nothing helpful to it. So I try my best not to compare myself to other RRPers or just YouTubers in general, because I don't think it actually gains you anything. I think if anything, it just takes away from what you already are, and you and your own individual videos and experiences are just as valid as other people's. So make sure you make your own unique content, because it's really important. The next one says, have you ever been jealous of another SSO YouTuber? Again, kind of going off of last one, consciously, no. It's not like I have one YouTuber that I specifically am jealous of at all. I don't have any, but I think it can be really hard if you do compare yourself and you do see other people's growing before you or at different rates than you. That can be really hard, but I wouldn't get jealous. I would say I'm really happy for that person, because it's so hard to have a YouTube channel, and I think if you get jealous or put negative connotations or create competition in an environment that doesn't need to have competitions, that it can become really toxic. So I do my best not to get jealous or get upset. I really try to emphasize being happy for other YouTubers and emphasizing to people that are creating YouTube channels not to compare yourself to other people's growth, because it is an individual journey. YouTube is a very individual thing, and you have to be okay with that, and you have to know that from the start so that you don't put yourself in this hole of comparing yourself and jealousy and all of that. So just really try and support other YouTubers, because they are putting in just as much as work as you are, if not more, if not less, and it's really important that we just all support each other in this journey. And it's not like there can only be one YouTuber out there. We can all do this and do it together. What's your most regretted video you've ever posted, and why do you regret posting it? I don't think I have a specifically a video that I regret posting. I would say if there was one video that I would possibly take down, but I haven't yet, would be the Halloween video, just because it's not really my content. It was a person that I was friends with content at the time, and she really helped me out in that video, but it's because I was sick, and honestly I think at that point I should have just left it and not created a video. So I would say that's the only one that I really would regret, but I don't regret that, because it's content, and it's content that you guys enjoy. It just necessarily wasn't from me. The next one says, how do you deal with hate? From ᴜᴏᴜ. I'm fortunate that I haven't had terrible amounts of hate. Of course, I've had some miscommunication and misjudgments, but I would just say don't let that ruin your entire day. Don't let that make you stop making YouTube videos, because probably for every hate comment you get about 10 to 20 love comments. So just focus on those ones. And luckily YouTube has this thing when it comes to comments where they censor out most of them and put them in this like little separate category if they do suspect that it's hate. You can go in and disable this, but I don't have it disabled. Every once in a while I'll go look those comments just to make sure that none that weren't supposed to go there ended up there. But I don't think too much about the hate comments. Again, it's really about perception and deciding what to think about and what not to. This one says, do you have unseen footage because it just didn't work out? I feel like I'm the only one. You are definitely not the only one. I have 2 videos that I fully recorded, one of them that I edited. I'm really struggling with my talking today, that have just never seen the light of day because I just can't figure out when I want to upload them or if I'm ever going to. There's nothing wrong with the videos. It's just sometimes it happens and you're like, yeah, it's fine. They're training videos, I think. So if you guys are interested, I think one of them is like pickup lines and I don't know what the other one is, but if you guys ever want me to upload those, just let me know. They're just kind of sitting in my saved documents right now. This one says, do you sometimes not have the motivation to make videos? Have you ever wanted to quit YouTube? How do you deal with negative feedback? As for the motivation thing, I think everyone goes through periods in their YouTube journey, even just in their real life, where you're super motivated and then you're super unmotivated. And what you do that time is up to you. Some people stop posting, some people keep posting. I've gone through periods where I've been unmotivated, specifically in the realistic roleplay community, which is why you guys have probably been seeing less roleplay content from me, just because it's a ton of work and I have the ideas, but I don't have the time to dedicate to that right now. And I don't want you all to have half a storyline and not the rest of it. So I have kind of taken a step back from that just because I've been a little less motivated, but I still make regular Star Stable content when I can. As for negative feedback, if it's constructive criticism, I think it's super important to listen and read those comments that are constructive criticism so that you can be the best for the people that you're creating content for. But if it's completely irrelevant and people just being mean, my best advice is to ignore it and move on, because they're not adding anything to you and reading it isn't going to help you in any way either. What does it feel like, or how does it feel like to be supported by all of us? From ᴅᴏᴜ. It's okay, this I could go on an entire ramble video about, but it is the most surreal thing to have so many people supporting you and supporting the content that you create. And I talk about it a lot and I'm gonna continue talking about it, but I am so grateful for all of you for getting me where I am, for being here from the beginning. Just your kind comments, you have no idea how far that they go for me. I will be having one of the worst days and I will read a YouTube comment, and the ones that you guys write me like paragraphs and books, like you have literally brought me to tears before, because it's just so crazy that there are those trolls on the internet, but then there's people like all of you who will write me a book about how much you adore my content or how you hope I'm taking care of myself, and that goes lengths. And it is one of the most surreal, loving, like amazing feelings that I felt, and nothing compares to it like the way that you guys have made me feel, especially in this past year. So it's a very crazy feeling. What made you want to be an SSO YouTuber? Love your videos. Thank you. I actually have an entire video on this. I will probably hopefully link it in the iCard right here if I remember, but if you do want to know about my entire Star Stable journey and how I ended up as a YouTuber, you can go ahead and watch that, because if I tried to explain it right now, that would be very long. So go and check out that video if you're interested. This one says, do you get lots of hate, or is it just me that gets hate? Again, I would say I get 1 hate comment for every 20 comments or something like that. It is unfortunate because some people get a ton of hate and other people don't, but just ignore it. It's unfortunate that happens. If it is happening consistently and it's geared more towards your content rather than you as a person, then I would say maybe reevaluate the content that you're posting and see if it's offensive at all or anything, because it's important to listen to feedback like that. But if it's directed at you as a person, completely ignore it, because they have no idea who you are or what you're like. This one is from lemon_leah_love, and their question is, do you ever have no ideas and then someone has an idea so you use that? I try to stray away from this because I think following the trends sometimes can put you in a hole of trying to be other YouTubers. So if I don't have an idea, honestly, I'll just roll with it. I don't have an idea, and that's okay. You don't always have to post. You don't always have to not have an idea. And I think it's really important to not always follow the trends because you don't want to be a trend follower. You want to be a trendsetter. So if I'm ever completely out of ideas, I try to think way outside the box and I just film a video and post it. That is how the Zodiac little series came about. That's how the Harry Potter video came about. And honestly, those videos end up doing a lot better rather than just following the trend of what everyone else is doing. So I really try to strive to be my individual person when it comes to content creation. How long did it take you to get to 100 subscribers? I think it took me like 2 months, maybe. I can look back. But I'm gonna guess that it was around 2 months.
What's your problem, 𝐴ᴜ? You don't like croissants? Stupid name, but they taste good.